All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, it looks like we lost one person and then got somebody else, but we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for coming today. I'll let everybody introduce themselves, but I'm Lainey Dornier. I'm the director of the Kinesiology program, and we're going to tell you a little bit about all of our programs. And then we'll also let you introduce yourself and tell us the program you're interested in so that we make sure we cover that. We'll probably, since there's only one student here right now, we'll probably cover the one you're interested in, and then we'll just briefly go over the other programs that are available. So again, I'm Lainey Dornier. I'm the director of the Kinesiology program. I'll let Dan and Tyra introduce themselves. Dan?
Yeah, hi, my name is Dan Ray. I'm a senior academic advisor at the School of Professional Advancement, filling in for our director, Michaela Williams, today last minute. I am the undergraduate advisor for kinesiology students, both in exercise science and in health and wellness. And I'll pass it over to Dr. Mitchell.
Thanks, Dan. I'm Tyrone Mitchell. I am a professor of practice in kinesiology. I teach in the exercise science as well as the health and wellness undergraduate degrees and the graduate health and wellness management program. I'm a physical therapist by background.
Thank you both. And Anne's in the background. She's the one running this show, so we won't have her introduce herself. And then it looks like we have one student here. Kimberly, you want to introduce yourself and tell us which program you're interested in?
Hi, I'm Kimberly Bell. I'm interested in the undergraduate kinesiology with the possibility of going into physical therapy. When I finish, I am currently a 911 supervisor with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. So I'm hoping to kind of do this at the same time online, just so, it's not an easy career. So sometimes I might need a secondary career to fall back on if things get any more rougher with the 911 career. I'm 37 years old. I started in kinesiology at ULM 20 years ago, but I then decided I did not want to be in school anymore. It wasn't for me. And then I found dispatching a couple of years later. So I know some of the beginning things. I'm sure it is definitely advanced and updated since 20 years. But I'm really back interested in it. And I live, like I said, I live here locally.
Okay, great. Thanks, Kimberly. And we have two other students. Felicia, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're interested in? You're muted. You're muted.
Hi, my name is Felicia Watts, not Sots, whatever I'll put down there. But I was accepted to the program recently, and I was doing my research on sports studies. That's why I'm accepted to sports studies. I've been doing my research on different programs. This is something new for me. I just want to try to transform to a new career. I've had 20 years in the public health service, so I'm retired, and this is like a new life for me. So I'm just here kind of to learn more about the program, to dive deeper, because my aspirations is to take this to an entrepreneur level. So I'm trying to figure out what are my options, opportunities if I wanted to dive into that space. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here, Felicia. That sounds great. And then we have one more person. It's a 254-379-5514. It doesn't have a name with it. But if you can, you want to tell us, introduce yourself and tell us what you're interested in. And if you can't, that's okay too. And you're muted if you're. Okay, maybe that person cannot. If you can later, jump back on. We'd love to find out more about you. All right, so we'll move right around. We'll move forward and provide y'all some information. And again, if you have questions along the way, feel free to jump in and ask any questions. Our program, kinesiology program, is in the School of Professional Advancement. And the School of Professional Advancement began offering classes in 1886. It was, so it is a part of, look, it looks like we have another Francine Romero. Francine, if you're on, you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're interested in? And you're muted. So if you're trying to do that, you're muted. All right, you may not be able to. And y'all can also put questions in the chat if you want to. And then we'll try to monitor that along the way. Okay, Francine says, sorry, I'm having internet issues. No problem. We hope you can get in as much as you possibly can. So we are in the School of Professional Advancement, and we offer applied programs to adult learners. So that's a little bit about our program, or our school, and where we are. Why SOPA? Why do you want to come to SOPA? Well, we have a lot of online classes. We've been kind of one of the preeminent schools to start online courses at Tulane. We do offer online courses in our undergraduate program. A lot of our graduate programs are completely online, and some of our undergraduate programs are online. We have a variety of programs. Our faculty are kind of unique in that we have a lot of adjunct faculty. We'll talk a little bit later, but adjunct faculty who are actually working in the field in the areas in which they're teaching. We offer a lot of student support. Dan's going to tell you a little bit about some of that student support. We have affordability and flexible hours, and having a Tulane degree is valuable. Tulane is a recognized name in this area and actually across the United States as a private elite institution. So we do offer a lot of online, and as I mentioned, we have a lot of online courses at SOPA. Both of our graduate programs are completely online. All of our classes that are online actually go through an online learning workshop to be developed. So they work with experts who are experts in online learning, along with what we call a subject matter expert who provides the content of the information. And then we put these courses together. So our online courses all have assignments, lectures. We try to make them very interactive so that you're not just getting onto a computer and doing the course, but you actually have to interact with the instructor and with your colleagues in the class. So they may have Zoom. Every online course has to have at least 2 Zoom sessions. If it's a graduate course, they have at least 4, and you may actually have more than that working with students. So you do get to interact with your colleagues, even though it's in an online environment. Here's some information about our online courses and our online endeavors. We do have a lot of online courses across the School of Professional Advancement. We've had over 13,000 students complete over 31,000 hours of online coursework since 2018. And we have over 200 faculty that have been trained in how to do online learning. So it is one of our strong points, and we're pretty proud of our online classes. So kinesiology, for those that have never heard the term or not familiar with the term, when I tell people I'm in the kinesiology program, the first question is generally, what is kinesiology? Kinesiology is actually the study of movement. And in this kinesiology program here at Tulane, we study human movement from a variety of perspectives, whether that's from a perspective of health and wellness, or a perspective of exercise science, or a perspective of sports. We're looking at the study of human movement. And so our courses cover a variety of kinesiology-based information, whether it's looking at sport or nutrition, fitness, exercise, community health, prevention and control of diseases, all types of courses related to human movement. So we have 2 bachelor's degrees. I'm gonna let Tyra tell you about our bachelor's degrees.
Thanks, Lainey. So in the kinesiology program, we have 2 bachelor's degrees, the Bachelor of Arts in Health and Wellness and the Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science. Health and wellness is more of an interdisciplinary approach to health. There's nutrition, there's conversations about global health and aging. It really is kind of this interdisciplinary approach and study of health and the wellness industries. And then Bachelor of Science of Exercise Science is the study within more of the clinical realm of human movement. And so individuals who are interested in careers like physical therapy, personal training, fitness, these are the prerequisite courses that are typically utilized for entry into those types of careers.
unmute. Then I'll talk a little bit about our master's degree programs. We also have a Master of Science in Health and Wellness Management. The Master of Science in Health and Wellness Management has, starting in the fall, will have 11 courses. As I mentioned, it's completely online. It has 3 required classes that everybody has to take, and then students can choose from 3 stackable certificate programs. The stackable certificate programs are in corporate wellness, health leadership, and health strategy and financial management. Each of those stackable certificate programs have 4 courses within them. And so to complete the degree, you can complete any 2 certificate programs plus the 3 required classes, or you can choose 8 courses across the stackable certificate programs. And for the 33-hour master's degree program. This program, as with our other, does require an internship. So you are required to take Kinesiology 7800 internship or a capstone experience. And actually Tyra is in charge of that. And she can tell you a little bit more about the internship and where students, if anybody's interested, but she works with the students very closely to identify. The student is responsible for identifying an internship site, and then you do practical work. There's some students who work full-time, and so doing an internship is not possible. Those students can choose to do a capstone experience where they work with a faculty member, integrating what they've learned across their coursework into some kind of capstone experience. And that might be something at their job they're currently working on now, that they do an experience at their job, or they do a research project, or they work in a small group, to disseminate information that they've accumulated during their degree. The other master's degree, we have a Master of Science in Sports Studies. This also is a 33-hour master's degree program with 11 online classes. This has 4 stackable certificate programs in sport administration, sport coaching, sports security, and sports medicine. And again, just like the other stackable, these are 4, each certificate has 4 courses. And so you can complete the certificates, or you can choose any 8 courses across the certificate programs, plus the 3 required core classes for the master's degree. So for students who may not be interested in the master's degree, but they want a certificate in a particular area, you can start with a certificate program. You could take the 4 classes for the certificate program, complete the certificate, and then decide if you want to go on to the master's degree or not. So you can do both, either direction, starting with the master's degree or starting with a certificate program. And this program also has the required internship course, where students work in an applied setting. The internship is a really good experience for students that, like, maybe you want to work in an athletic director position. Well, maybe at the internship, you could work in athletics and do something in athletics with like an associate athletic director and see what they do. So you learn more about that job before you go into it. Next. We have several graduate certificate programs. I mentioned several of them, but here they are listed. So this is if you want to do a certificate and not the degree. So we have them in sport administration, sport security, sport coaching, sport medicine, corporate wellness, health leadership, and health strategy and financial management. All of those are part of other master's degree programs, but they're standalone certificate programs also. A little bit about our faculty. So I think one of the strengths of our program is our faculty. We have really good faculty. Tyra's name is right up there, and she really is one of our better faculty. But we also have a lot of adjunct faculty that are actually working in the field. So for example, Ryan Hill teaches some courses for us, and he is a doctor of physical therapy. He works as a physical therapist. He has a physical therapy clinic, but he also teaches courses for us on the human body. So he could talk to students about what he does in the real world. Irina Tereshchenko is actually a national champion and professional pickleball player, and teaches courses for us in coaching. She was actually a tennis player and a tennis coach, and does a lot of research on coaching specifics. And so she is working in the field in which she teaches for us. And then Vernon Dunn actually works for the federal government, but he has a background in motor development. So he teaches a motor development class for us because that's his background, but he can actually talk about what he does in his governmental role working with student development. Credit for prior learning. So if you can earn credit toward a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, and you can get it for working outside in a real world job. So for example, let's say you work in an environment where you teach leadership courses. You actually work in a leadership position. Well, we teach a leadership course. If you in your job have met the objectives of that leadership course, so that taking that course is kind of redundant to the work that you're already doing, you can actually sign up to get credit for that prior learning. It is a course that you have to enroll in to get the credit for this prior learning. So you really would have to make sure that the objectives required for the course, you can demonstrate that you meet those objectives in your regular job or in some kind of real world environment. So you end up having to do a portfolio assessment. There's an examination at the end of it to examine whether that portfolio met the standards for the course. So if that's something, undergraduate students can get up to 24 credits, graduate students can get up to 6 credits. If that's something you're interested in, then you can let us know. We can put you in touch with Delilah, who's in charge of the credit for prior learning. I'll turn this over to Dan.
Okie dokie. Excuse me. Yeah, so student support and success. This is what us academic advisors are largely responsible for. We have academic advisors for all of our students, regardless of their degree program, if they are undergraduate, if they're graduate, whether they're doing an undergraduate or a graduate certificate program. And we're dedicated, there for you from the very start. If you're bringing in transfer credits, getting you set up with registration, any kind of non-financial basically needs, throughout, we're like your go-to person over the course of your undergraduate career. So we're there when you start, and we're there to see you walk across the stage when you finish. Financial aid advisors are separate, but you will be assigned one of those as well if you're, needing financial aid. And then, as Dr. Donier mentioned, we have expert faculty with industry experience where they have the work experience and bring that directly to the classroom. So, a lot of applied learning in our programs, not just in kinesiology, but throughout our school and all the programs that we offer. And we have networks of program peers and other Tulane alumni, which is a good network to be a part of. Faculty have offered some of my students jobs before in the classroom, or they'll have other faculty or people they know in the field who are looking to hire, and then we get a lot of our students referred to them and actually hired in the end as well. We also have a dedicated career advisor, both for undergraduate and graduate. Once you're a student with us, if you need anything related to helping with a cover letter, putting your resume together, any kind of career advice, she teaches a class as well for our undergraduate students, and is also a great resource at our school to have for undergraduate and graduate students. Next slide. I think we have the affordability tuition and everything information. The fall 2022 tuition is listed. That's $596 per credit. Graduate, it's $1158 per credit. All the classes are 3 classes. All the classes are 3 credits each. Excuse me. There are a couple 4-credit ones in the exercise science program. And financial aid, as I mentioned, we offer financial aid and assistance to help students pay for their educational costs. There are also grants, loans. There's a yellow ribbon program. And if you are active duty, a veteran, or active retired public safety personnel, or attended a minority serving institution, there's a scholarship for that, and also for Phi Theta Kappa. And as mentioned before, there is credit for prior learning experience. If you're military, or the work experience is a quick way to earn credits so that you don't have to sit through a whole entire class if you already have that knowledge on hand. And that's another way to save on tuition costs, essentially. Next slide. And then the application process is pretty simple and straightforward. So you go to our website, sopa.tulane.edu/apply, or just to click the apply button at the top of our page, follow the steps on the application. There is an application fee, whether you're undergraduate or graduate. However, those of you who have attended this webinar today, that fee will be waived for you. You'll need to upload a government ID, such as your driver's license. And if you attended any prior colleges, then you're going to have those schools send us an official transcript. And a lot of schools nowadays, thankfully, are doing transcripts electronically, which is nice, so that the requests get processed and sent to the school within a day or two tops. So you got to request all those transcripts from your prior schools, have them sent directly to us. All that information is in the application. And then as those transcripts are received, they'll be added to your file. And then, an admissions decision will eventually be made as far as the undergraduate goes. The graduate, there's some extra writing sample, I believe, that's required. And then it goes through the review process to Dr. Donier and Dr. Mitchell. And that's pretty much the application process, pretty straightforward. Our contact information, phone numbers are on the website too. Anybody that answers the phone in our offices essentially works in admissions and can assist you, check on the status of your application, ask questions. And then academic advisors such as myself or Michaela, if you're in the graduate program, we can check on all that kind of stuff for you as well to make sure everything's in and, getting processed and so on and so forth.
I'm gonna jump in quick, Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. And as Ann mentioned in the chat, if you've already paid an application fee and you're attending this, we can refund your application fee. You just need to send an email and we'll have that refunded. And welcome David Stewart, who's interested in sport medicine and coaching certificates. So welcome, David.
All right, so yeah, next slide was application deadlines. There is a one-time scholarship, one-time early enrollment scholarship, for undergraduate students and $500 for graduate students. So for the fall semester, the deadline is actually passed for June 1st already now. But for any of the semesters that you come in, if you are admitted and registered for your classes by that time, then you will get that scholarship applied to your tuition and fees. I think it's usually applied around when the semester actually starts, but then that's a one-time enrollment scholarship. And then the application deadlines themselves are usually about a month before the semester starts. So for summer, it's May 1st. The May semester starts around the 22nd, something like that every year. January 1st is the application deadline. If you're still waiting like on a transcript or two to come in, that's fine. If it's electronic, especially, it'll get there quickly, but that's just the last day you can apply online at the website. And then for the fall, the deadline's August 1st, and each of those, 3.5 weeks or so later is when the actual semester starts. So you'll still have time to get everything set up and registered and all that. And if you're doing any kind of financial aid, you of course want to get that process started a little sooner. They're always busy in every financial aid office in every university I've ever been around. So you got to start that process. But yeah, those are the basic application deadlines. I think that'll do it for that slide. And I think that'll do it. Okay, I'll pass it back to Dr. Dornier. If y'all want to ask any questions or anything as well, feel free.
Thanks, Dan. So that's kind of an overview of all of our programs. Some of you may have specific questions about the program you're interested in. If you do, you can unmute yourself and ask, or if you can't, you can put it in the chat. I'll wait for anybody that wants to do that. And then also I'll tell you while we're waiting to see if anybody has questions that if you leave this meeting and you think, oh, I wish I would have asked this, or I wish I would have asked that, don't hesitate to send me an email. My email is on the screen. You can write down that email address. Dr. Mitchell also has an email and you can look her up. It's very easy to find contact information for any of our faculty. And we're happy to answer any questions you might have about our programs. So does anybody have specific questions that they would like to ask? Or Tyra, anything else you want to go over that I didn't? Thank you, Tyra. That was even easier.
No, I think you covered
like
it all. I just wanted to say that if you wanted to email me, I'll drop my email address right there. So definitely feel free to reach out to me, especially if you are on that road of, preparing to go to a clinical program such as physical therapy, occupational therapy, PA school. I definitely have some, if I haven't gone through that experience, I have colleagues that have gone through that experience in that preparation. So happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Tyra. Felicia has her hand up. Felicia, did you have a question? Yeah.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. So the first question I have, I was going through the sports studies courses. I noticed I didn't see anything for like covering sponsorships. Is that, am I missing that, or is that something that's not really offered in the program
Yeah,
as a course?
yeah. Well, I think it's part of sponsorships. Is probably part of there's a marketing course, and that's
Okay.
probably part of the marketing course, I would imagine.
Okay.
And Dan, thanks. Somebody asked if there's a direct number for financial aid, and Dan put that in the chat. So if anybody needs that, but I imagine that would be part of the marketing course, Felicia.
Okay, and then second question I had, so I noticed that Tulane is, so it's not credited by the sports management web accreditation. Is that something you're going towards, or that's not really in the future for accreditation by the sports management?
Well, we don't call our program sport management, and we intentionally don't call it sport management. We have a certificate in sport administration that's geared more toward the administrative aspects. Sport administration, some people would consider part of sport management, but we intentionally don't have a sport management program. Sport management programs are very intentional, very specific, related to the management of sports. Ours is a more global sports studies program that looks at sports from the coaching perspective, the administration perspective, the sports medicine perspective, or the sports security. And that's not really what's covered in sport management programs. So ours is more global, and sport management is more specific.
Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you. I'm sorry, I asked all these questions. Like, I'm new to this area, and it seems so exciting and interesting to me and impactful. So and another question, one more question, won't take up your time, but about entrepreneur opportunities. Have you seen any entrepreneurs come out this program, and what kind of services would they provide?
Well, entrepreneurs is kind of a broad term, right?
Okay.
So,
yes.
We've had students in our program that want to start their own wellness clinic or want to start their own fitness clinic, and and those sort of things. We don't offer a course on entrepreneurship. There are courses at Tulane on entrepreneurship, but that's not really the focus of our program. So our program in sport administration is really geared toward the administration of sports, like looking at financial aspects of sports, the marketing aspects of sports. They will cover some of the entrepreneurship in that marketing class about what that is, but it's not it's not training people to be entrepreneurs.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Yes, Kimberly.
Is this something that, at least the undergraduate, that can be done completely online? Like that, go at your, I don't want to say at your own pace, but if you can only take so many courses a semester, is there a minimum or a maximum you have to take each semester in order to maintain in the School of Kinesiology?
No, so the undergraduate program is not completely online. So you would not be able to complete the program completely online. We don't have control over the coursework outside of our own. So like the Englishes and maths and sciences and those type courses are not offered online. You would have to take those on campus. The kinesiology classes for the health and wellness are offered online. So you could do the kinesiology part. For the exercise science, some of them are offered online, but not all of them are offered online. So for the exercise science degree, even for the kinesiology courses, you would have to be able to come to campus for some of those. All of our online classes, you brought up a good point, and I want to touch on it when you said self-paced. They're not really self-paced. Our online classes essentially have like 12 modules, and each week a module is due, whatever's due in that module, the assignments or the quizzes or the, whatever they're going to do, the discussion boards or the group projects or whatever it is. So you can do it in your own pace to a certain extent, but if the assignment is due by Sunday at midnight, then you have to do it by Sunday at midnight. You can't put it off until the next week. So they're guided online courses is, I guess, the best way to put those.
Also, I just wanted to add briefly, because you mentioned how the number of courses you need to remain in the program and whatnot. I mean, if you're using financial aid, you'll have to be at least a half-time student, which is 6 credits generally. So you'll have to be in at least 2 classes. I don't think you have to take classes in the summer, but that's up to you. And if you're not using financial aid, then yeah, you can just take a class a semester or 2. Or I usually have students who've been out of school for a while, or just brand new students that are coming into, and especially if they work a full-time job, they got kids and practices and all that kind of stuff to go to, that to start off with 2 classes. And then if you're able to manage more a little bit down the road, then definitely take on more. But to start with 2, to not overwhelm yourself from the get-go, and then build on that. And if you're doing online classes, then just set aside time like you would as if you were going to a class, to be like, all right, Tuesday night, I'm doing, my exercise science biomechanics class, if that one's online in that particular semester or not. But usually it's 2 classes a semester, and, for financial aid purposes at least. And I believe that's what it is for graduate as well. So, yeah.
And students have to choose their own pace. So where 2 classes might be good for one student, 5 classes might be good for another one. So students have to work and choose what's best for them. We don't make those decisions for students. Any other questions anybody has? All right, if there are no more questions, it was great to meet everybody. We look forward to having you in our program and seeing you on campus or online. And again, if you have any questions after we finish this call, feel free to reach out and let us know. Is that for graduates or undergraduates? Yeah, that 6 hours is a minimum for graduate and undergraduate for full-time, for half-time. All right, thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you, and everybody have a wonderful day.